10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. Yes, full-time review, love it. It's been a brutal 2 days, so I'm just excited to be in front of you guys talking about football again, because I need to talk about something other than putting crumb and whey and SMP into hoppers and making chocolate, because I am knackered. Right, let's get the horrible formalities out of the way, the usual spiel. Well, it's not really usual, but congratulations, Liverpool, on winning the Premier League title. I say it through gritted teeth. I'm not exactly really happy about having to say it, but you've got to congratulate a team when they do something good. Which brings me to another one. Villa. You mugs. But that's not to my usual Villa guys who I like. That is to all the mugs who thought they were bigger than Newcastle United and they just want to be us still. Congratulations on bottling the semi-final. And congratulations to Man City as well and Martin on his channel. Obviously, they won 2-0 today at Wembley, putting Forest to the sword. So, yeah, well done, lads. Do you know what it is? As much as I hate some of the Palace fans, I kind of hope Palace win it because it's like an underdog winning the FA Cup again, and it's been a while since that happened. And it would be quite nice if that happened. But yeah, if Man City win it, Man City win it. Everyone expects that, don't they? Right, usual spiel. Very quick. We've got a massive panel on tonight. We've got lots to discuss. We'll talk about the game, and then I want to obviously speak to Rich and to Callie as much as I can about the atmosphere and what they thought of St James's Park and stuff like that. So obviously it was great for them to a long trip from Ipswich. So Ches says, hi all, please be respectful, the usual stuff. Super chats in the bottom right hand corner. You can join from a monthly fee. We are going to do a prize draw tonight. You just got to keep reminding me there's a prize draw tonight. 2 $40 gift cards are going to be given away. Thank you, Spenny and Diacro, for doing that. It's absolutely amazing. I haven't done one for a while, so I thought I better get one done. Paul's in the house as well. Peter's in. I don't know why I do that every time. I just can't help it. Excited for 4 games, 4 cup finals. That's what it is, isn't it? We'll look at the league table a little bit later on. McTominay playing well again. Napoli 1-0 up, I believe. Ibaz, I will message you when seeking you is live. Okay. I don't know what that means. Magpie Stew, evening all. KK does play for Napoli, doesn't he? He is injured. KK. Cava, he plays for PSG now. I don't know who KK is, to be fair. I think it's Cava. But no, he plays for PSG. Magpie Stew. Lauren's in the house watching. Thank you, Lauren, as always. Tony, haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're well, mate. Mogul, Daniel. Oh, my God, the flying in. Right, I'm going to have to stop there. Right, I've seen you all. I love you all. Thank you very much. Let's get cracking on because I'm going to be here all night going through all them. Co-host, Santa, how are we doing?
Santa. Go, ho,
Michael.
ho. Hey, everybody. Green Giant.
Yes!
Good to see you, Baz. Thrilled with the result yesterday. Looking forward to talking to Rich and Keely. Yes, I join you with seeing Crystal Palace come through as an underdog. Villa just wobbling like crazy at the moment.
Great timing.
Kind of expected the result for Man City. I think
we all did.
And so now the big drama. I've got good friends who are Liverpool fans. I'm happy for all of them. I kind of reacted by saying kind of anticlimactic. How long have they been in first? And on top of that, oh joy, another red team won the league. Woo-hoo. But they've now matched Man United with the number
20
of first
titles.
division league wins.
Yeah, that's right.
So
20.
good for them. Now I guess with everybody being relegated yesterday with the result, for the first time for the first time ever, all 3 teams being relegated before the start of May. There's a historic option, but
it's also the first time in 2 seasons in a row that all 3 have gone down.
Right, the 3 promoted teams have gone down.
Right.
No, but the big, I guess that means now with that already sewn up, 4 games to go, and now Liverpool having won the league with 4 games to go. Now the drama becomes who are 2 through 5, and that's going to be the fun part. So
6 as well, could be 7 potentially.
Oh, 6 could be 7 if because we give up our spot for the Carabao Cup win, right?
Yeah,
if we get into the Champions League. So
and also Man City give up their spot if they win the FA Cup as well.
There you go.
The Europa League. So lots of drama for the league, but obviously the big drama is 3 to 5, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. JC.
Hey, John.
Evening, everyone. Evening, Dan. Evening, Baz.
How are we doing?
Okay.
Very good, mate.
Yeah. Absolutely buzzing yesterday. So onwards and upwards we go.
Yes.
4 more games. Let's have it.
Honestly, I can't wait. Liam, great to have you back on. How are you doing?
Hi, Liam.
Good evening, gents. How are you all doing? Long time no see.
Very good. Well? It's great to see that shiny, bald head and that beautiful smile.
I've shaved it especially for you, especially for coming on the show.
I was going to say we've seen a lot of Liam lately. We just haven't seen him on the show lately. My TikTok feed has been full of the Hughes family, which has been fantastic to see.
Class. I hope you've been liking it.
Oh, we always do. We always do. There was an Ipswich fan in the Century Room yesterday saying the men's team could get relegated and the women's could be promoted in the same weekend. Oh, wow. Didn't know that. There you go. Right, let's bring Rich in. Rich obviously had that horrible journey all the way up to James Park and all the way back down again, but I'm sure he loved it. How are we doing, Rich? Thanks for coming back on again.
Rich. How you doing, boys? You good?
Good. Thanks for being a good sport.
Easy journey. Easy. A14, straight up the A1. It was a good journey. It's all right. I didn't mind it. Great. Look, good day, apart from the result, which I did tell you on Friday.
You did. We've also got Callie on as well. How are you doing, Callie?
All
hey,
good. How are we all doing? Yeah. My journey was slightly less than yours. Mine was about 3.5 hours, so not too bad. But still, it's far, man. Like I like going to Newcastle. I've been out nights out, wicked place to go out at night, especially in the summer. But you go for a couple of days, going there and back in a day. Yeah, I felt like I got north, and then I went north, and then I kept going north, and I'm like, yo, I might.
You got to be careful because you might end up in Scotland if you keep going north. But the good news for you next season is you can still come up to Newcastle, but the problem is you'll have to stop in Newcastle and then take a short little trip to that shit dump, a little bit, further down, and then come back to Newcastle again and enjoy yourself. And with 3 points as well. If you don't get 3 points at that shit ground, you're not coming to Newcastle again. You're barred.
They're in the playoffs, aren't they? So they could.
Nah.
They ain't going anywhere. They're not going anywhere.
Staying down where they belong. You guys belong in the top. They belong down in that crap division. Got to say, Rich, being in the stadium, the Ipswich fans were absolutely amazing for the entire game and even after the class. We are going to come on to that. I promise you, I've got lots to cover. We're going to cover the game and the action, and then there's obviously a lot of stuff to cover on the outside of that as well. And that's one of the things, the atmosphere.
Can we talk about the ref as well?
Of course we can. Yes. There's a few questions.
Michael Salisbury, I think was his name. He was dreadful.
A few questionable decisions, to be fair, wasn't there?
Quite a few.
Yeah,
but as a Newcastle fan, it's easy to say there were quite a few questionable calls.
Yeah, to be fair, yes. Right. We'll talk about one of the first. I mean, I saw one of your fans whinging about the Dan Burn one, and I'm sorry, but that was a yellow card and that was a dive. You've got to agree with that, because Dan Burn put his leg out, but he pulled it away. He never touched the player, and your man went flying over him like he'd been shot from level 7 with the sniper rifle. And that was definitely a yellow card, Rich. Come on, you've got to give us that one. That was definitely a dive.
So obviously at the time, Callie knows this, we are miles away.
Oh, yeah, of course. I've been up there.
I mean, you need oxygen to get up to that level, don't you? Jesus Christ.
You do.
So when you first see it, you think, yeah, you don't know. Look, Joe Hart, I thought, gave a really good analysis on Match of the Day, but then he let himself down because he said, he's not dived. He's gone to go round him, and Burns come across, and he's braced himself thinking he's going to get clattered. Now, if you watch it slowly, Dan Burn does pull his leg out at the last second, right?
Yeah.
But for me,
he can't help that they're 9
not
feet
a dive.
long.
It's still not a dive for me. I don't think he's dived. I don't think he's dived like as in trying to con the ref.
Do you think
Jacob Murphy, who we'll talk about in a minute, because that was pathetic. I don't think it's a yellow card. I think it's really harsh. Is it a free kick for Town? Probably not, because I don't think he's touched him. But I don't think he's dived looking to win a free kick. I think it's the pace that he's running at. I think the pace that he's running at, and he's trying to avoid the player.
Yeah,
that's
I get that. The problem is when you not get touched and you go down, and he looked at the ref like he wanted a free kick. That says to me he was trying to potentially. You're selling it.
Go on, Callie.
Yeah.
Go on, Callie. Your turn.
All right. So for me, I agree. It's not. There's no contact. Okay. So from where we're looking at it, we're thinking maybe there's something or whatever. And to be honest, I was a bit more pissed off at the time, thinking, "Stay on your feet, man. You're past Dan Burn.
Yeah.
Then. Skip past him." And then who did you have? Who's the left back? You had Livermet. I've forgotten his name.
Yeah, Tino.
Yeah, Tino.
Yeah,
Tino. It's quicker.
He was either gonna, he was behind him, so you might get a penalty or whatever. Yeah. But when I was looking at it, and I was putting my vlog together or whatever, I'm looking at the clip and everything. I'm just like, well, it's not this. Like we got these rules where we say, okay, if you dive, it's a yellow card or whatever. I've seen many players properly dive, not get yellows. Right?
I agree with that as well. Yeah, agree with that.
Rules in the Premier League that there seem to be a black and white rule that always ignored. I'll give you the classic example. Years ago, maybe decades ago, the 6-second rule for a goalkeeper. That's always
Jesus. Yeah.
But where referees want their discretion, they can. I think this is my beef, if you like, with the referee. I don't think he handled the game well. I think on both sides there were issues, and I'm sure we'll talk about Bruno's goal as well.
Oh yes.
But I think he didn't. At that point, it's early on in the game. You can just give Ben Johnson a warning. Yeah. Or on the because we'll talk about the second yellow, which is no dispute on that. But you can give him a little warning. Say you're going through on goal. Okay, I'm going to use my common sense, which apparently it isn't common. These referees don't have them, and then they're just saying, right, no, it's I've got to give a yellow card.
Yeah.
But this isn't me throwing salt. There were also opportunities in that second half or whatever when Newcastle players might have felt, they've claimed for something. Referee said no, waved it away. The yellow card's in the pocket. So my beef again with these refs is be consistent. If you want to card everything, card everything.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I just thought he's a poor referee. We've had him a few times this season. Right. He's a poor referee. But yeah, that's my defense.
I had to, Baz, I had to give Callie a strange eye just because he said these black and white rules, and I was just wait. You're not talking about one rule for Newcastle and not
no.
You followed through with the thought.
I told you through my black and white eye and through the black and white pod.
There you go.
I like it. And I do agree with that, because there was an instance today, and I know I'm going massively off topic when it comes to a different game, but Man United Bournemouth, when the VAR referee made the referee go to the screen, said that was a reckless challenge, but never once. And Alan Smith, for the first time ever, actually said something very sensible. He said the VAR referee has not mentioned once that player has slipped and gone into the.
But Baz, if you see when he goes to that screen, and the first initial, the one from today on Eva Nielsen, the first image he gets on that screen is the still.
Yeah,
it's not when he slips over. Which if you take it back, and I've got people telling him on Twitter, yeah, but he's out of control. Well, hang on. If anybody slips over, how are you in control?
Yeah, exactly.
I just think, like Callie says there, common sense sometimes, and these referees don't use it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that.
For me, Ben Johnson going to ground, and as Baz said, when you turn around and you look like you're looking for the foul, that's where the ref gets to use his common sense and say, "Don't be daft.
Yeah,
Stay on your feet, or just admit that you slipped because." That's what I'm going to do. Don't turn around looking for it and go like this or anything. No, that's not happening. So, and then we can talk about Murphy.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Murphy first.
We have to talk about Ben Johnson's second yellow first.
Nah, it's a second yellow. He knows it is. He's off.
Well, and that was and see, that was the problem.
And that's silly as well, isn't it?
Well, everybody in the pub yesterday was going, "Good Lord, look at the two yellows." And I said, "Okay, he gave him the first yellow, but then Johnson was being daft. Just don't act like an idiot and grab the guy around his waist. You're not trying to take his shirt or dance with him. You're just trying to keep him from the goal." And he's fresh in Salisbury's mind at that moment. He's just like, "I just gave you a yellow, you monk." So
silly, very silly. We'll talk about the Bruno goal because we have got a lot to get through, and I can't get everyone's opinion on everything, but I'm going to go backwards and forwards with many views as I can. JC, we spoke about it off air. The Bruno goal, we can understand why it's disallowed, but it is very, very, very soft, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I've watched it again a couple of times since we spoke about it just off air, and he just holds his ground. He stands there. I don't think he does anything. He doesn't do anything wrong.
He does move. He does. He probably is when he positions himself when he stands his ground, but he bumps into the keeper.
It's not as big as you see. You see other goals that have been given where there's been more movement. I mean, if we look back at, it went in our favour, but look at Joelinton's against Arsenal last season. That was,
a lot more contact on that one.
I think that was a foul. Personally, I still think that was a foul. I'll take it, but it was tough, and I think that was there's a bit of movement, but he's just stood his ground, and I think the keeper's made and got into it. But
I think he's just been very, very clever.
Of course he is. He knows Bruno knows the game. He knows how to play it, and he's one who knows what he's doing and where he's going and everything like that. And he is he's becoming. We spoke about Jamie Vardy the other day on the Premier League review. Bruno knows how to excuse my French and excuse my language, but shit house people. Of course he does. He's the crown prince of it in Newcastle. But I just think it was very soft. As I say, we spoke about it before, Baz, and we said, when you look at the Coventry-Luton one yesterday, the Luton sending off, the Coventry players run on and his heel has clipped the knee of the Luton defender and he's gone down and it's a red card because it's a dogzo. Well, it wasn't. It was just, that was what it was. It's just a contact. It wasn't a tackle or anything. I just think it was too harsh.
I don't want to shove me on as a ref in the next. I'm playing in the next charity game, you pain in the backside, Jules. I've actually got a ref and linesman already sorted for that charity game. I can't wait for it. Liam, Bruno's goal, what's your thoughts on it?
I thought it was soft. If I'm honest, I thought the keeper messed up. I thought he was all over the place, and I thought it was a goal. It should have stood. I honestly do. I thought, come on, he just brushed them, didn't he? There was nothing in it. There was nothing in it at all. He couldn't get his hands to it, and that was that. And it was in.
It reminded me of a goal recently that was disallowed as well. Was it for Liverpool?
Oh yeah, it's against Leicester last Saturday.
Yeah, that was soft as well. But you can see why it was given, can't you? Because there is contact on the goalkeeper, isn't there?
But this is the point. We had one like that with the lap at Portman Road. I can't remember who it was, Crunch. Can you remember? And it was he had one. He stood up, did the same thing. So like, if you ask me with my common sense head, I'm saying I agree. The Bruno goal should have stood, and just like I think the Liverpool goal should have stood, and Liam Delap's goal should have stood. But somewhere with VAR, with all this extra stuff with the referees, we've taken or dropped the physicality out of the game a bit now. So it is like you get a little touch on the keeper, it's going to be given as a foul.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I think like just like, and we'll talk about the penalty, but just like how in Cecil he put it's soft, but you're giving the referee a decision to make. So Bruno,
that's exactly it.
Giving the ref a decision to make.
Exactly. You know? Never give the ref a reason or VAR reason to interfere, is what I said to one of your guys on Twitter. And it is, again, we'll come to the penalty. It is very, very, very soft. But we're talking about a player running at pace, as you mentioned with your guy. He's put his arm across him. And as soon as you put your arm out and touch him, and he goes down, you're giving the VAR ref a reason to interfere.
Didn't they say, Baz, at the start of the season it was going to be a high bar? You know, if it's clear and obvious. Michael Salisbury, I've watched it again.
I think they said enough contact to a walk, because there has been penalties given against us as well, where there's been the slightest of touch. I remember Jota at Liverpool at Anfield, where he got the smallest touch and he went down about 3 steps later, and then they give a penalty because there was a tiny touch on it. So I think the rule was it has to be enough contact to force a player down, I think is what the rule was changed to.
I totally agree with Callie. It's really lazy from Enciso, because he's not really looking.
Silly.
Yeah, he's not really looking at the ball. Look, you probably don't want him in that position anyway, because he's not the best defensive player. And like you said, he gives the referee a decision to make, which he makes, and he sees it. Sure, he's got a good view of that. This is what I'm saying. He's got a good view of it, but he doesn't give it. So, but as soon as it goes to the screen, we all know what's going to happen. You know? Yeah.
You do these days, don't you? I mean, I think I've seen one official stick to his guns in the whole 3 years that VAR has been in play in the Premier League. So we kind of knew it was coming. I see why it's given, but again, like I said, very, very, very soft. So maybe it makes up for the Bruno goal disallowed, because that was very, very soft. This is soft and it's gone in our favour. And
what I will say is, that's at the other end, and it's in Enciso, and say it's Livramento on in Enciso. There is no way in hell that Ipswich Town are getting a penalty at St James's Park. Not a chance.
I've seen them given at St James's Park.
No.
I've seen them given. And do you know what it is? Had it been given against us, I would say I'd be more angry at my player than I would be at the player going down, because you're giving the referees a reason to make a decision. And this is the thing that you've obviously learned the hard way when you come up to the Premier League and you've got VAR and you've got all this stuff. You've got to learn to not use your hands as much. You know, everything's scrutinised. You don't get that in the Championship, which is why loads of people love watching the Championship, because when a goal is scored. You know, you don't have to wait 30, 40, sometimes 10 minutes for a goal to be given. You can celebrate it and go wild. So, you know, I think a lot of teams are now learning, especially the teams near the top, is when and when not to be putting your hands on people, and how to sort of manipulate a decision. And it's not, it sounds like it's cheating, but it's not. It's just being clever. Street smarts is what I like to call it.
I was going to say that's something we've lacked a lot, because this is that difference. And you see, like, I've watched a lot of Premier League football on the telly, not really seen it live because you're watching the Ipswich games or whatever when they're happening.
Yeah.
And up close, and I'm sure Rich will say the same, like, it's the speed of the game. Like, some of these players, like, you're just thinking, bloody hell, from one end to the other, the ball spreading the play. Like, your midfielders, Tonali, he's different class, isn't he? Yeah. It's quick, it's powerful, but hopefully we'll be back in a season or so.
I think it will be. That was the first half. Obviously, it was a very frustrating first half. It was a 1-0.
Sorry, I think as well, just a tiny little point. I think that's the difference when you've got, you know, no disrespect, but you come up from the Championship where there's no VAR that will look at those little things into the Premiership, where those little, you know, that little tug, no doubt, that little tug yesterday, and it was a tiny tug. It wasn't even really anything massive. It was soft. That wouldn't have been given in the Championship. I've no doubt about that. But when you come up to in the Premiership where there's the VAR at every game, that's the difference maker. And you can't, you know, it works for everybody really. It's those little things that you get away with lower down the leagues that then cost you up there. You know, and it's a shame, because, you know, we either have it all the way through or we don't. For my opinion, but that was those fine margins, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the money, isn't it? That's the problem. I want to point out something, though. In the first 30 minutes, Rich, I thought you guys set up to frustrate us. I thought you were in the game. And after 30 minutes, I was like, right, sign the lap.
Yeah, I think the game plan had gone pretty well. And this is what we've seen in a lot of games this season. We're in games, but then it is like you're ill-disciplined, because as soon as Johnson gets that second yellow card, our game plan falls apart then, because obviously Jack Clark obviously gets subbed again. That's the third time he's been hooked when we've got a red card. I think we're up there. I think we've had 5-6 red cards, Callie, this season.
Wow.
5.
And
you can't afford to do that.
No, it's hurting us. And then you're playing, over an hour with 10 men. And like I said to you on Friday, Baz, we'd already got, I think, 10 players out injured. Leif Davis was suspended. And then we're bringing on Ben Godfrey comes on, and he's hardly played any football. I thought we'd frustrated you. I thought the crowd were quite quiet. And I think if we'd have gone in 0-0 at half-time, we'd have still been in the game. I know we'd have had 10 men, but as soon as that penalty gets given, it's game over. And then it's probably second half, it's pretty much damage limitations as far as we're concerned. Because I thought Delap showed quite a bit early on. I told you like the physical challenge.
Yeah,
He got it was a bit of a weird one that he got a yellow card there when they were pushing each other, and then Burns shoves him, and then we all think Dan Burns getting a yellow, and we're all whee, and then he books the lap as well.
I thought the way you set up was immense. I've never seen some of the defending you've done was some of the best I've seen in the Premier League this year.
It frustrated us.
Really good.
The thing is, and this is the annoying thing with us, is you look at the stats and you'll say Ipswich are bloody hell, conceded a load of goals, not really scored a lot. But actually, we've got really good defenders. We have got some solid defenders. Like O'Shea, he had a bit of a slow start, but he's a solid defender. Greaves, who's come back and a makeshift left back yesterday, right? He had a bit of a stop-start season, but he's done all right. And I thought he was solid. And then you got Delap up front as well. So although we ain't scored a lot, we've still got good quality players.
Up in that final third every time that first half, we just couldn't get near.
But like we said, it's those fine margins, it's those little things that let us down, and it's loss of concentration, whatever, being smart enough, whatever you want to call it. But I was hopeful, and then you're thinking, okay, we can do something. I think Delap had a good chance. Jack Clark's cutting inside. I thought he was really good, and then obviously he gets subbed off again, second game in a row, because obviously we got a red card last week as well.
Well, that was great for us, because obviously him being an ex-Mac and watching him getting hooked off was just, that it just feels a little bit better for us than obviously not for you guys. But yeah, I mean, I thought Delap, Super Fan Dan, I thought after 30 minutes, I watched him absolutely burn. Pardon the pun. His pace was there, and the one thing that Rich mentioned is the one thing that I wanted to watch from him. It was what was he like physically against two centre backs who were going to be, because obviously they sat back and they were going to go long, which means Delap had to fight for everything, and he literally looked like he was enjoying himself. And it reminded me of a young Alan Shearer again.
Yep. That's why I said in the preview, I said that's if we're going to sign a forward, that's the forward I want to sign. One, the release clause will be affordable. Two, he's the type of player that we need. Where the only option we've had coming off the bench has been Callum Wilson, and I'm sitting there going, Liam Delap is the kind of striker we need. And then on top of that, I said you don't want a player going to another club when they could be managed by Eddie Apple. Eddie's going to mold that young man into something, and he could be a world leader. You never know. Look at what he's done with all of our players that were championship players so many years ago. And they've all come in leaps and bounds. I think a Liam Delap will benefit from being in our stewardship. I
absolutely agree. And I still think he'll also get the game time due to the fact that we'll be in hopefully quite a few competitions. So that's the hope for me. And 30 million, I mean, Jesus, that's a steal for someone who scored 12 goals in the championship in a team who struggled to score goals as well.
Yes, John, I know. Yes, John. I was going to bring him up later.
We'll come to him later, definitely. Being in the team to see Ipswich tactics up close, it was very impressive seeing how they set up to frustrate. At times they had 7 at the back, which is what we find difficult to break down, is a low block. And it was hard to break them down. Only 3 channels in your day, Gary. Oh, Mogul as a child, yes, but I have to. 5 channels when I was growing up. Terrestrial TV was brilliant.
Are we gonna discuss the PK at all, or are we just gonna gloss over it?
It was just an easy goal, wasn't it? It was expected.
Well, but I mean, you could ask anybody in the pub that was in the pub with me yesterday. I was arguing it was soft. Don't give it if he comes away from.
We did that. We did all that.
Okay, I
we did all that. Very, very soft. But like I said, you're giving the officials a reason to have a look at it. That's the problem. Isak steps up, smashes it in the right-hand side, which is very clever because the goalkeeper had obviously studied where he'd gone recently, which was 5, I think, to the opposite side. So he played the bluff and smashed it into the right-hand side, which was great.
Am I the only one that thinks it was a penalty then?
No, it's a penalty, but it's very, very, very soft.
I see. I thought from where I was sat, it was pulled back.
Oh, well, I just think it's soft.
All right.
But again, he's running at pace, and as soon as you put your arm on him, and he feels that arm go on him, and I just think it's a soft one. But again, it's street smarts from Murphy, because was he going to get the ball?
Regardless of whether he was going to get the ball, he was pulled back.
Oh no, I get that, but I'm just thinking it's street smarts that he feels
the ball though. In truthfulness, probably wouldn't have. No,
I just think it's smart from Murphy. I really do. But it doesn't matter. It's in. We then come in. I didn't get to see the full game myself because I was at work. I did get to see quite a lot of it. I heard Tonali hit the crossbar. Is that right?
Yeah.
I missed that. How did that happen?
Just hit it. Basically,
was it a screamer? Was it outside the box? Right.
Outside the box, and he just hit it. I just straight off it was like the corner of the crossbar.
Right.
But, it was close.
He's going to score a screamer again soon. He really is. Always remember that effort against Fulham that hit the stanchion. I was just like, just gone in. Our second goal. If Dan Burn's going to score a header again, right, that's the only way he's going to score them. The one at Wembley was a fluke. We all know it was, because he never scores from distance with his head. But if you get him 2 yards off the line, he does not miss. Paris Saint-Germain know all about it, and now Ipswich know all about it. It was very well worked as well, because Tripp's got himself in a great position, and the ball, he stands up at the back post. And when you've got someone who's 6'7", they're going to climb all over you, and they're going to smash it home. So it was more well worked than the goal was beautiful, obviously, because the finish was a bit scrappy and where everyone was all over the place. But it's a good goal, isn't it?
He was pretty much stood in the net when he headed it.
He was about 2 yards out, yeah. But like I say, it's the only way Dan Burn's going to score from a header again, because that, as I said, the one at Wembley was a complete fluke, and that was pretty much.
If you're going to score your first one in the league in this season, then why not 5 games from the end, 4 games from the end?
Exactly. So it doesn't matter when you do it, as long as you do it. That's the main thing. And anything you boys could have done differently defending it? I mean, I just thought it was very well worked, and we've obviously been down to 10 men at that point, very tired.
I thought we switched off from the corner. We got caught last week against Arsenal with, I think it's their 3rd goal. We just switched off. Right. Look, as soon as he stands that ball up at the far post, like you said, there's only one. I love goals like that, because the goalkeeper ends in the net. It's just the mess. He comes in, he puts the centre half in. Look, it's a great ball by Trippier. It's not great defending by us, if I'm being honest.
There's nothing you can stop. Once that ball's in the air and you're 2 yards out, there's no way you're stopping it. But you could have stopped the initial play potentially. But again, I guess it's quite clever from Newcastle catching you out. They've obviously seen that and copied what Arsenal did.
Well, yeah, we normally go man for man. So we'll have some people on zone, but then we'll have man for man on your key players, like when they'll do their research or whatever. And obviously, 12-foot tall Dan Burn was going to be one of those that they're going to be on that. With Dan Burn, if you looked at it, because there was a couple of corners where he come up, and I thought in the first half we dealt with it, because what was happening is O'Shea was getting a bit of a run on him, and they were just this. So literally, you had this 15-foot player come flying at you, and O'Shea couldn't move anywhere, so he wasn't going to get a jump on him. And then he's just like a basketballer, isn't he? So
yeah. I mean, this is right. I mean, by the laws of physics, Dan Burn really should be scoring ahead in nearly every game because no one can get near him. But this is the thing with Dan Burn. If you watch him when he heads a ball, especially in defence, he doesn't have any direction. He just knows how to get distance on it, and he just poof, and it just goes flying. And then, but when he's on a corner, you watch the Liverpool one, right, the cup final, and then watch all these other ones. That's the first time I've ever seen Dan Burn meet a ball like that from distance inside the box. Only time I've ever seen him do it. So it'll never be repeated. He's just a lump who loves to try and win the ball and get distance on it. That's basically what Big Dan Burn does. And then we make a few changes, huffing and puffing as we do. Sula comes on, and I'm obviously still, I'm not a massive fan of him until he proves me wrong, but he has. He hasn't proved me wrong. One goal's not proving me wrong. He's got to consistently do it.
He put himself about. He put himself about as he should.
He came on the right wing, so he's obviously clearly not a striker. So all this talk about him coming on before Wilson is obviously needs to be ended now because Eddie Howe obviously sees something in him, but he doesn't see him as a striker. He sees him more as a winger. So at least we've got that out of the way. Yeah, no, I get that. But where we're going, is Asula the answer? That's the big question.
No, because we're going to get Liam Delap.
No. See, Asula's not a striker. He's a right winger. So where we're going forward on the right wing, is Asula the answer? No, we're all talking
he'll be low down there, yeah.
Exactly.
That's where Bukayo Saka comes in.
Exactly.
Yep.
By Saka and Buemo.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Anyway, I've got the goal. Yeah, great header though, by the way. But
it was a fantastic header
as well. I'm not too sure about his celebration though.
Yeah, I mean, celebration's a bit dodgy.
That he needs to work on that.
I think that celebration. I think that dance. I think we need a bit of that. A little bit of dancing. No. I'm down for that. I think that's quality. But
what's wrong with the arm in the air and just run?
There's only one person who can ever do that, and that's Shearer. I'm down with a bit of dancing, so long as he doesn't do backflips and like Luar did and all that stuff, and hurt himself. I'm down with a bit of that.
So, but Mike, if you go back and look at it, I think it's Elaine from Seinfeld, because Elaine could never dance, So there was always that little bit of thing, and then there was the kick the leg out thing. And then Bruno comes over and says, "Do it again."
Would Asula be watching Seinfeld?
I don't know. I don't know where it comes from.
He's Switzerland. Swiss, isn't he? Swiss? Is that right? I'm sure he's Swiss.
But did you see all the celebrations after the Carabao Cup win with all the different dancing with Asula? Yeah. He's just a character. That's all.
No, he is. I get that, and it's don't get me wrong. It's a fantastic header and a great leap to do that at the Gallagher end. He nearly scores again, doesn't he? Because he cuts in on the right hand side and he has a rocket of a shot, and then Bruno gets in the way of it and it goes wide off the deflection, which was a bit of a shame. He's still got a lot to prove, but I'm pleased for him because it was a great header.
I don't think right wing's the role for him, though. Honestly, I don't.
Do you not?
He's got so much energy, and I know you like Wilson, but honestly,
I don't like Wilson. I know what Wilson's proven and Asula's not.
I think he offers nothing. I think he offers absolutely. He used to, don't get us wrong, he's been good for it, but now nothing. And I think Asula is just young energy, and I'd play him up front when he's come off me. Honestly, I would.
But Eddie Howe obviously sees him as a right wing, and that's why he keeps putting him on the right-hand side. So,
well, you never know. Maybe he put him on for a bit game time.
Possibly, but the last couple of times now, Birmingham played him on the right-hand side. Yesterday, played him on the right-hand side. Wilson is finished, to be fair. There's a shout for you, Ipswich fans, Rich and Callie. Would you take Wilson?
No, thanks. Going back. Just quickly going back on that Asula goal, if you watch it back, Callum Wilson, it's a foul. It's a foul on Cameron Burgess. He literally pushes him out. Watch it again, Baz. Don't shake your head.
I've seen it. I know what you're talking about.
He does well because he blocks him out the way. He knocks him right out the way, and it's a great header. It's a foul.
VAR cleared it.
I can't see. I noticed. I'll have to watch it back. And
I did. I saw it, and because VAR actually looked at it as well, and VAR. Oh, there we go. 25 million plus Wilson for the lap. I think you'd rather have 25 million and then tell us to keep Wilson.
25 million, keep Wilson.
Yeah, exactly.
Take him.
We'll give you a £5 million discount to keep him.
Yeah. I love it. But yeah, you are right.
Signing another contract, didn't he? Wilson. They're on about giving him another contract for 2 years.
No, I don't know where this is coming from, but I really hope it's not true.
I do too.
I haven't seen any legitimate source who said it yet. Thank God.
Tell him to sell it.
Well, we can't sell him because he's out of contract in the summer unless he signs one, then we sell him straight away. But no, we do not want Callum Wilson in this. He's been a fantastic servant for us. Don't get me wrong. He came at a time where Villa wanted him as well, and we had, we were basically a team in tatters, and he still came to us and rescued us along with St. Maximum, who deserves obviously the credit that he gets for that one season. But there we go. But yeah,
Leicester need a new striker now anyway, so he can go to Leicester.
He could go to Leicester, yeah. I mean, Wilson could have a bit to offer in the Championship. We don't know. He might have sorted out a few of his injury problems, but he's a risk wherever he goes, to be fair.
Send him to Sunderland. They're going
to have him. No, because if we get them and he scores, it'll be even worse. Well, there's a few things that happened yesterday. Bruno Guimaraes got 150 appearances for Newcastle, which is absolutely fantastic. He's our skipper. He's a leader. He's absolutely amazing. We got our photograph, as we always do. Like I say, we don't just do this against the big teams. We do this against every team. Every win, we take a photograph.
Celebrating beating Ipswich 3-0.
Every team, even Birmingham, even Bromley, everyone. Now, the reason why we do it... Wimbledon, yeah. The reason why we do it is we use it as a motivational round the training ground to put pictures on the wall of what it's like to win.
Good job we didn't do that this season, Callie, eh?
Well, we only got 4 million people. We've got a lot of empty frames, mate.
You have a lot of empty frames of void, but I think it's a great idea. It's a motivational thing, and we just like to see the picture and the players enjoying themselves. To be fair, gets them closer to the fans as well. It makes us feel involved and all that.
I think you should do on here, Baz. Get your guys to get your shirts off and take a team photo. Yeah,
I'll take a team photo with the shirt staying on. I don't look as good as Trippier, to be fair. So there we go.
It's nice. It was nice to see. We'll probably touch on it in a bit, but it was nice to see the gaffer back in there as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes. I think we touched on that Friday, but yeah, 100%. Right. Who was your man of the match, Dan?
Me?
Yeah, we'll go around the houses for man of the matches.
For me, he's been my player of the season. I still think it's Dan Bird. He's just so much fun. He's just so much. He just bleeds black and white. That's all. He gets it.
That's fair enough. I like it. JC?
Yeah, same for me. Big Dan Burn. He's become that. I hate to say it, like an indispensable player. That first name on the teacher. I hate to use those cliches.
Dependable, isn't it?
But he's the first name, and this season he's really stepped up. Now, how long can he continue it? I don't know. I think probably one more season of this level of intensity. And I know you said the other week, Baz, age is only a number, but, when you're playing Liam Delap is 22, Dan Burns up there, when you've got 10 years, you've got 10 years on some of these young lads now, it does prove things. So, but yeah, still Dan Burn, absolutely class.
Interesting. Liam?
Sandro.
Ooh, Sandro.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like it. Rich, who was your man of the match for Ipswich or Newcastle, whichever one?
Man of the match for Newcastle was Michael Salisbury. Move on.
I'll give you that.
Fair enough.
Brilliant. Ali, what about you? Sorry.
So I do a man of the match, but just for like Ipswich. So from an Ipswich point of view, I thought our number 5, our skipper, I thought he was quality. liked his little battle with Willem.
Yes, he got in front of everything, didn't he?
But
Especially in the first 30 minutes.
Overall, man of the match, I think, was Tonali. I think he's just phenomenal player.
Wow, am I the only one who's gone for Trippier?
Get your
99 minutes
parents.
of play, 2
Gary
assists.
Gary said trips on the chat. Gary said trips.
Oh yeah, on the I'm just talking about the panel, mate. I saw the chat and everyone was saying who I was going for. I was like, I'm keeping that the secret. 113 passes completed, 3 big chances created, 5 grand duels, 1 clean sheet, man of the match. I thought he was brilliant. I really did. I thought Trippier rolled back the years. It obviously helped them being down to 10 men because you can get as far forward, but he did get 2 assists, 2 lovely crosses into the box. And if you don't buy a raffle ticket, you don't win the raffle, do you? So I thought he was brilliant. Personally.
Bruno, Trippier and Sandro. There we go. Let's agree on all.
There we go. Why not? Why
and
not?
5, the skipper. We'll give him a nod.
Yeah.
And Michael Salisbury, remember?
No.
Salisbury.
And I tell you what, his linesman was just a shite Norman down that right-hand side. It was terrible.
Oh, man. I love it. A lot of people have gone for trips in the chat, to be fair. Right. I haven't, out of respect, shown the bottom of the league table for you guys because obviously we don't want to dwell on that. We just hope he's come back up next year. But we've got to look at the top of the table, what it looks like for now. Top 3 mags as we are, but it is so tight. But destiny is in our own hands. The only team that can overtake us at the moment and get back to level games is Nottingham Forest. They could leapfrog us into 3rd if they win their game in hand. But after they're getting beaten, humbled at Wembley, it's going to be very, very tasty going forward. I don't know.
I'm looking it up. I'm looking it up.
Good.
I'll tell you in a minute.
But the one thing that I do like that's in our favour between Chelsea, I mean Chelsea are only 2 goals behind us, but Forest and Villa.
They play Brentford they play Brentford at the City Ground on Thursday.
Ooh, Brentford aren't an easy walkover either, to be fair. So that's going to be a tough game for them. But our goal difference is also an extra point. And that's why I think it'll be hard for Forest and Villa to stay in front or Villa to catch us or Forest to stay in front of us because it only takes 1 slip up and we're ahead of them on goal difference. Chelsea have got a better chance because they're only 2 goals behind us, but they're literally stumbling through games at the moment. You know, beating Everton 1-0. They beat 2-1 Fulham last week, which we were very lucky in. So it's all heating up, guys. Special mention, it's great to see Sven Botman back. You know, what a time for him to come back as well. If he can just get, match fit for the Arsenal game. Can you imagine having him back in the back line as well? That would be absolutely incredible.
So, Baz, looking at the fixture list coming up, like I said, it's Forest against Brentford at the City Ground. And the next evening, it's Man City against Wolves at the Etihad.
Well,
and then the following morning, Villa hosts Fulham at Villa Park. I'm looking at where Arsenal plays Bournemouth at the Emirates.
Ooh.
So, I mean, it's, and then Chelsea-Liverpool on Sunday. So,
but
Liverpool
have won the league now. Chelsea
still want Liverpool to win.
Oh, of course we do. No, but what I mean is it's more Liverpool might be on the beach now that they've won, or they might be in a party.
I don't think they're going to take their foot off the pedal. Do you think?
I hope not. But I've seen it happen. Hey, everyone. Hope you're well. Hey, Robbie. Hope you're doing all right, mate. There's a Man United fan in the chat. He's so lucky to get a point today. Congratulations, Robbie, on your point.
I think if Liverpool do take their foot off, I don't think it'll be against Chelsea. They'll want to. Those bigger teams who are supposed to be up there allegedly, they're going to want to still do that. I think if they're going to take their foot off, it's going to be the likes of, I don't know, like your Wolves or whoever they've got to play like that,
And Liverpool is playing away. They're playing at Stamford Bridge. So Liverpool's going to want to just drill them. So
I hope so. Yeah. How big is that home game v Chelsea? It's like this big.
Yeah. It's another cup final. Yep.
It's massive, Peter. Massive.
But it's not as big as their game against Forest on the last day of the season.
That is true. Yeah. Well, there could be. It all depends on the league positions by that point, doesn't it? So we'll just have to. But at least we know teams are taking points off each other around us, which makes it easier for us because we've if we beat Chelsea, then all the teams around us are out the way, aren't they? So
just quickly touch on something if I can.
Yeah, of course you can.
The Ipswich fans that you brought.
Oh, we're coming to it. We're coming to it. Coming to it.
Yep.
Coming to it. Coming to it. So, Sir Bobby Robson.
That was tremendous.
Ipswich scarf, Newcastle scarf around his neck. This Ipswich fan online just wanted to quickly say what a credit Newcastle fans were today. Clapped us as we left the stadium and wished us all for next season. One of the friendliest bunch of fans. So obviously, Liam, you were at the ground. Yeah. It was a great atmosphere coming through the TV. Ipswich fans were brilliant. Newcastle fans were brilliant when we woke up, as we always do. What did you make of it?
I just thought that the amount of fans that you brought with you, they've got to be the loudest fans I've heard there this season, away fans. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. These were loud throughout, and my favourite part was when we were giving the ref a bit of stick, you know, when they're going, "You're not fit to referee," and then like voice over the top, and it was you shouting it as well. So the whole stadium was in agreement that the referee was shite. It was good to see. Honestly, he's brought some good energy with you, and you were very, very humble as well in your defeat, you know. And I think is the way you cheered your fans like you had won basically.
Yeah, I mean, we know what it's like to be relegated, don't we? I mean, we've been relegated twice from the Premier League, so we all feel your pain, and you know. And I like to think we were classy in our win, not like Villa were when we went down and put us down. You know,
sob on the time.
Yeah, exactly, all that sort of stuff. But Rich and Callie, we'll come to Callie first. Obviously, I put the picture of Bobby Robson up. What does he mean to you and your club? And obviously, this fixture being played for the first time in decades. It's you know, it's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the last time we played was 2017 when you guys went back up.
Yes.
But yeah, Sir Bobby, absolute legend. The stand I stand in at Portman Road is named after him. You know, the statue there, we sing about him. You know, there's songs we sing about him, about Bobby's boys and all the rest of it. What he did for the club, obviously, it was before my time, but what he did really set up Ipswich in their history and all the rest of it. And then as a club, Newcastle, because of that connection, so you've got Sir Bobby obviously there. For me personally, I started following Town about 95, and then the player that really got me following Town was a guy called Kieran Dyer. Yeah. So when for Newcastle, you always kept like a little eye out, and then you got Darren Ambrose, Titus
Bramble.
Well, he performed well for us. He was good for us, but he was a young academy lad. Never really shone anywhere else. But
he did all right for us. Don't get me wrong, but you know, thanks.
Yes, the Bobby is just an absolute legend. You know, I made sure to get I don't normally do pictures outside statues and stuff and all the rest of it, but that's one statue I definitely made sure I had outside as well. And yeah, I've done about 70 grounds. I think Crunch has done about 80 odd as well. You know, after 92. So we've been up and down the country following Town. Me personally, that's probably one of the best away days, despite the result. Obviously, fans were brilliant. Stadium's good. I drive everywhere. Location was all right to get to driving, although, like I said, it just felt like I was going north all the time. And, you know, coming out, I got it on my vlog as well at the end of when we were coming out that sheer away area. And we're all singing, there's only one Bobby Robson, and then the Newcastle fans are applauding us. And I think I didn't leave Newcastle till about 7:30, so we were talking to a lot of fans in the town centre who went for food. And, you know, really gracious in your win and all the rest of it. And hopefully we can be back at St James's Park in a couple of seasons.
I hope so. Do you now see the difference between online and real life?
Yeah, I mean,
when it comes to fans, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Ipswich fans are the same. You'll get some idiots online. You know, there's a lot of idiots online that talk about me and Crunch as an example, right? So, you know, there's always idiots online, and there's also there's online football community, and then there's football community when you're at the games. Like, I go home and away. Most of the time I go by myself. Crunch goes with his 3 young sons as well, and we don't get any stick. Everyone's happy together. I'll probably hug and kiss as many strangers as I have my wife. You know what I mean? So
go and tell her that.
I'll be watching back later, and I'll be with my dog house later. But yeah.
I think it's fair to say that our two clubs have a special bond, and it's because of former players and especially because of Sir Bobby. You know, it just we get it. We understand each other, and now again, as Baz said, because we've gone down, we know what this feels like, and yeah, best wishes. I hope I think if they stick with McKenna and they can keep the vast majority of their players, they're coming straight back up. So
I agree with that.
I saw some on social media, a chap, obviously Callie and Crunch will know, Nick Muller, who I follow. I mean, I think he's harmless.
Get the mustard out.
Hey, East Anglia is blue and white. It's not green and yellow. Bless him. But he put on his Instagram. He put the Ipswich fans up in the gods. Sorry that you had to see the stadium as shite from up there, but he put on there that you guys singing "There's Only One Bob Robson," and it was almost, it kind of almost brought tears to your eyes. You sort of think, and that's what you're saying. It was a lovely little touch, very class. So yeah, kudos to the Ipswich faithful there, and it was just it was lovely.
It was. Rich, what was the atmosphere like for you? And a big question for you as well, and also for Callie when you finished, Rich. We're obviously looking to potentially move away from St James's Park. Would you see that as an absolute silly idea, or would you think it's a good idea? Well, it's. Go on, you tell me.
In the city centre, I mean, I see. I think I said to you,
we're only moving 100 yards.
Why can you not redevelop where you are?
No.
Oh, you can't. So what sort of capacity would you go up to? 70?
Well,
65?
We've heard 65, but they reckon 70 to 75 potentially. And then it's a brilliant new stadium, a bit like Spurs.
Yeah, look, St James's is brilliant. I mean, I know we're miles up, but you get a great view of the game. Look, I thought we were a real credit yesterday.
Fantastic view of the city.
You listen to McKenna. I think they really appreciated the players, the support that we've given them, sort of. I know at home, but away. Look, Callie goes to all the away games. I think we've sold out every away game. And look, Premier League, we all want to be there. I haven't enjoyed it. I'll be honest, like the nonsense, the VAR and all that. But I still gutted at full time that we're relegated because it took a lot of hard work to get where we are. Yeah. And then to go back down is disappointing. But we are where we are. We're not quite good enough. But I thought it was really touching that the players come over and they stand there and you can see that we're giving love to them and they're applauding us back. And I thought it's a touch of class. Look, we've still got to go to Everton and we've still got to go to Leicester. And I said to you, Baz, on Friday, I still think we're in a much better position than Leicester and Southampton to come back up because as a fan base, we're all still together. We haven't... Managers haven't been sacked, we're not calling anyone out and we're still all in it together. So I think that really helps. But yeah, look, it's great. We have that bond with Newcastle. And you were saying on Friday about your favourite games between the two clubs. I forgot to mention the game. It was after the death of Bobby Robson when you came to Portman Road. I think it was actually on BBC One. It was on a Saturday night and we opened the Sir Bobby Robson stand and Laura Knight sung Bobby's favourite song and you actually drilled us, I think, 4-0 that night. I think Kevin Nolan got a hat-trick.
It's probably why you forgot it.
Yeah, but look, there's a bond between the clubs and football fans do get, I think sometimes they get a bad rap, because you see any trouble and they say, oh, yes, football fans. But I think the respect that both sets of supporters yesterday showed, it shows for me, like, football... there's no other sport like it, I don't think. You follow your team. Like, I drove 500 odd miles yesterday knowing, and Callie drove probably 400 knowing that you're going to go up there, you're going to lose, but you wouldn't do anything else because it's what you do on a Saturday or a Sunday or in the midweek. You follow your team everywhere. Disappointing for me yesterday, Carlisle got relegated, Baz, because I've lost the love of the ground. But then I did see that Carlisle got relegated to the National League. Truro have got promoted to the National League from National League South. So next season, I think they did say it's an 8-hour, 17-minute journey. So you think I was driving 4.5 hours yesterday. It's a long time. Imagine making that trip from Carlisle to Truro or the other way around. But yeah, look, really enjoyed the game. Went into the city before the game, went in one of the pubs. There was no trouble. They had the Chelsea game on, one TV. I was watching the Luton Coventry game on, and yeah, look, hopefully we go back down, we can rebuild, we can come back up. I've got a question for you. We need to rebuild our midfield, and I've been looking around for players. Sean Longstaff, Barry, would he be available?
Yeah, 100%. We'd drive him down there.
He's a good
I know
lad.
that he's a good lad, but he's not at the level that where we're going. If you look at Tonali, Joelinton, Bruno, how is Longstaff going to get into that team? And when he comes in, the drop off in our performance at the substitutions is
evident.
Really, yeah, it's evident. Sean Longstaff would be absolutely fantastic in the Championship. He'll be a box to box player for you, and he'll be better than Calvin Phillips. Yeah. But I heard Everton is sniffing around him. So it just depends whether he wants to drop into the Championship or not. But 100%. I mean, if you guys want him and he wants to go there, good luck to him.
I think if he gets consistent game time, he'll be good for you.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
No, you got to remember that at one point, Man United wanted to spend 50 million on him.
They did.
Under Rafa. So, I mean, he is a tidy player, but as Baz says, when you look at the other three in our midfield that are our regular starters, there's just no comparison.
So Miley's also getting in front of him, isn't he? So there's another reason.
Right. Sean Longstaff is a dependable Tuesday, Saturday player in the center of the park. He can play the 6, he can play the 8, and as we've seen, he has goals in him. So, he that would be an interesting one. I would like to see Sean Longstaff under Kieran McKenna and see how that goes. Yeah, that would be make weight in the Liam Delap purchase, maybe.
The one thing that Eddie Howe says about Longstaff,
I'm not giving up on it.
The one thing that Eddie Howe says about Sean Longstaff is why he's a very intelligent football player. So he might not have the pace, but he's got a very good brain. And what Eddie Howe asks of him when it comes to tactics and things like that, it'll sink into him and he can produce it on the pitch. So, there's another good reason why he would be a decent player. And he is a good player, don't get me wrong. He's not terrible. He's just, we see the drop-off from the quality that we've got. And that's why we would say now's the time for Sean to move on and get regular game time somewhere else.
So, Rich, I'll mention it to Frank next Friday. I'll see if we can make that thing happen.
Are you playing golf with him again?
Next Friday. Yep.
I love it. Do the Itfc lads think Delap is more than a one-season wonder?
Yeah, 100%.
I do as well, to be fair.
All season I've been calling him the better Harry Kane, and people will see. He's 22 years old. Last couple of seasons, people will say, okay, his return hasn't been great, but he's been played out on the wing in different systems. But last season he played against us for Hull. I didn't think much of him. This season, you could see in pre-season what he's got. He's got the raw ability. He's got power. He's got the shot, technical ability, and things he's going to get better. So like his touch, he's already got a tidy touch in first touch. He'll get better at that. So yeah, he's going to the very, very top. We said even before we knew we were going to get relegated, I think Rich and I said before Christmas, we said, let's enjoy the lap this season because regardless of where we finish, he was always going to be destined to go to bigger things.
Yeah. Jamie Vardy is back up for Isaac. Jesus Christ. I heard it all tonight now.
I said that on the preview.
I know you did. Terrible.
Just need a can of Red Bull to convince a case of Red Bull and Jamie Vardy will be there, won't he?
All I'm saying is that he won't tear a hamstring getting off the pot. I mean, come on. Unlike our other alternate striker. I mean, come on.
Jules says the only thing she would doubt the move would Sean want to stay at home? But I don't know because his brother's in America, tearing it up for Toronto, innit?
Toronto, yeah. And I just don't see Sean making the move to the States just yet.
Yeah, I think he's too good for that at the moment. He's still 27, 28.
Yeah, he's 27. I looked today. I think he's got a year left as well. So if you're going to probably move him on, it'll be probably in the summer.
It's got to be this summer, yeah. I mean, Eddie Howe's hinted towards it as well. He said he's obviously a player we've got till the end of the season. What happens after that, we don't know yet.
He says it's up to him, is what he said. So,
well, and I mean, he's obviously been told your game time is going to be very, very limited. Are you happy with that? A bit like Kraf. Kraf is, for me, a very underrated player, very underused at times. but he's happy to be that player. Is Sean Longstaff happy to do that now? He is a big Newcastle fan, so he might say yes. But on the other hand, you'd be thinking, it's a short career. I haven't got long left in it. Do I want to play regular football? So, and I would like to see him go into it too.
It's not like he's going to get a pay rise either. It's not
No,
like they're going to say,
exactly.
we'll
probably get a pay cut.
I think you look at a team. You look at guys. You look at a team. Probably one of the teams getting promoted would probably look at Longstaff. If I'm being sensible, he'd probably, if he had a Burnley or say a Sheffield United, if they come up, or a Leeds and they come in for him, he'd probably say, "Yeah, I'll probably stay in the Premier League." But no, I think he's the type of player that we need. We need to get some signings in the midfield. I know Callie's a big Sam Morsey fan, and I think he's still got a massive part to play next season. But I think we're going to lose. Phillips is going to go back. Jens Kajus didn't play yesterday. He's on loan. Massimo Luongo came on, but he's not getting any younger. We need to. That's the main part of our team in the summer. I think that we're going to need to spend probably 20-30 million on, if I'm being honest.
Well, you'll get 30 million for Liam Delap. So there's money.
Yeah, I mean, it's just about who we can keep. I know someone mentioned Leif Davis there, but there's no. I don't believe there's any relegation release, so you're going to be looking at 20-odd million. Is someone like Newcastle or any other club going to risk 20 million on? I think he's a quality player, but he hasn't really shown his class in the Premier League this season. Getting forward is good, but in the Premier League, you also need to show that defensive side as well. That's why if you look at Trent at Liverpool, everyone talks about his defensive issues, not how good he is getting forward, because that's kind of the similar thing with Leaf. And he didn't play yesterday because he got a red card last week for the tackle on Saka. Yeah,
and that's another thing. Disciplinary records. Teams look at that. Managers look at that. They look at, how many yellow cards they pick up. I don't know how we still got Joe Linton when it comes to that.
Right.
He loves a yellow, doesn't he? Right, last little very quick thing. Unbelievable run we're on now. In the last 26 games, we've won 20 games out of 26?
20 of 26. 20 of 26. Yep.
Not bad. I had to put a Sula on as that picture, didn't they? But it's an amazing run. It's a shame we haven't got a couple of draws in there of a set of losses. That would have been nice just to mix it up. But we're in unbelievable form at the moment. So top 5 has got to be ours. It really does. I really hope so. What's happening here? Europe again next. We definitely got Europe again next season, but it just depends which European competition. Yeah, you could have a Sula Ipswich on loan, maybe. That's not a bad shout.
If you're saying he's a right winger, we've got right wingers.
I think Eddie Howe thinks he's a right winger, but he signed as a forward he obviously brought him from Sheffield United. He was a forward there. He's come to us. Eddie Howe sort of adapted him into the right side. It's an interesting one, but if he wants to be a forward, why not a loan to Ipswich for a season in the Championship and to give him some confidence?
True.
I don't know if you guys would like him or not, but
I want to.
You see what I mean? This is what I'm talking about with Sula, right? If he can't make it at Ipswich in the Championship, he's not going to make it at Newcastle in the Premiership.
It's not that. It's just like, look, Eddie Howe's clearly a good manager, right? And if you're saying he sees him as a right winger, he's a young manager. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together, thinking maybe that's what Kieran would think as well. We've got a lot of wide players. The problem we're going to have is that, like Rich said, we've got to get 2 or 3 centre midfielders. We've got to get them in, maybe even 4, and we've got to get a Delap replacement. Not another striker that's just going to support. We don't need a supporting role or a backup dancer. We need someone that's going to be the main man, because
he could potentially be that. He's got a lot of attributes that would work. It's just he needs a run of games to work himself out. And the problem is that it's a risk. Oh yeah, you've seen the size of him.
Yeah, but I've seen bigger players that fall over. Jacob Murphy's 6 foot something, and he still fell over like greatest actor in Newcastle.
Go back and watch the FA Cup game, Newcastle against Birmingham, and you tell me he's not a battler. You will understand that he is someone who will be up for the fight.
Against League One Birmingham, did you say?
Yeah, but it was in the FA Cup. It was away from home. It was one of those nights where you needed people to stand up, and he stood up. And that's what I mean.
I think, like, striker-wise, look, he might be a good player, but I don't think we really I think we need someone who's a direct replacement for Delap, who knows the Championship. I think
he
need.
He's at Sheffield United in the Championship.
Yeah, but how many goals did he score for Sheffield United in the Championship?
He didn't get much game time, did he? Really?
Didn't get much game time. No.
We just need someone to replace Delap, like a like-for-like replacement, who knows that league, who's can get some goals. And then hopefully we'll be back on here in a couple of years, Callie. We'll be on here on a Sunday night again. Hopefully, when we beat Newcastle.
Only stopping over in Newcastle.
Don't get ahead of yourself now.
I wasn't laughing, Crunch. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at Blade's comment saying,
"Yeah, Blade's comment
Azul is the next Isak."
He is just trying to wind me up. They're slimming out. He's quick, Yeah, but no.
You're not selling him to us, Baz.
Baz doesn't like him.
No, it's not that I don't like them. It's just think about the parallels of where Ipswich are now, where Newcastle are going, where we want to be top 4 consistently. Now, to be top 4 consistently, you need people who can come off the bench and make a difference all the time, or people who are going to break into the first team.
How much money do you think you'll be able to spend in the summer, Newcastle?
It's a good question. 3 windows, hardly spending anything. So I think 150 to 200. And bearing in mind, it's not 200 million. It's 200 million made up over five years. Because when you sign someone for, say, 25 million, it's 5 million over 5 years, isn't it? Yeah. So that's what we've got to look at. I think we've got expenditure of about 150 to 200 million. I really do. And I think we're going to go big.
Do you keep Isak in the summer?
100%. 100%. We're only trying to get rid of the deadwood.
What's his value? Hypothetically, if he was to leave, what would his value be?
150 mil.
Yep.
Easy.
Agree.
Yeah.
He's the best striker in the world at the minute. Fact.
Yeah.
I would say between 100 and 150 million he's worth, easily.
The fact of the matter is he's going to sign a new contract. He's going to double his wages. He's going to be the main man. He more than likely will be offered the number 9 jersey.
What if you didn't? I think you're going to anyway. What if you hypothetically didn't make the Champions League?
I think he still stays for at least one more season. Yeah, one season. I think he would stay, and then if we don't get Champions League, then you would look to move. But we've definitely got him for one more season. I'm under no illusion that he will leave at some point, because he'll want to go back to Spain and maybe win something with Barcelona or Real Madrid. He might want to go to Italy and win. Did anyone see
the end of the Copa del Rey last night, the final?
No, but I heard about it.
Oh my Lord. Rudiger throwing ice cubes on the pitch of the ref. It was carnage.
It was terrible. There was 3 players sent off, weren't there?
They'd absolutely panned him in the week as well at Madrid, hadn't they? The ref. They didn't want him refereeing the game, and I think in his press conference on Friday said he was nearly crying. The ref. I mean, we think our refs are bad, Callie, over here.
But why was he even reffing that game again? It was crazy. But Jude Bellingham got sent off, Rudiger got sent off, and
there was 3 went off.
3 of them. Yeah, which has just absolutely screwed their title chances. Barcelona are definitely going to win that league now. Very, very silly of them. But yeah, Isak definitely stays. Tonali definitely stays. I'm sick of all the Italian. And you know what it's like with that Fabrizio Romano talking about Delap all the time. We get that from the Italian media talking about Tonali every day. Oh, he wants to go back to Italy. He wants to do this. He wants to do that.
New goalkeeper, Baz, for you?
Yeah, I would have a new goalkeeper.
Are you going for Trafford from Burnley?
Oh, here's a deal for you. You can have Delap. You can have Delap for 25 million, and we got a goalkeeper for you.
No, thanks. We've already done that deal with Forrest, and we've got a goalkeeper who's never going to play for us.
Player, he's about 7 foot tall as well. His name's Muric.
We won't get rid of him that easy.
Your coaching staff liked the look of Anthony Siaha from here 2 years ago. 6'7", Cameroonian. He plays for Hartford now and is not exactly lighting it up, but they like the look of him.
Yeah, well, they like the look of the Muric that we signed in summer. And
Fair enough, Callie.
I like obviously Nick Pope, Barry. Baz came through our academy when he was a youngster. And he didn't make it. He was playing for Bury Town.
Played for York City as well. I saw him play for York Live. And do you know when I saw
Not
him
the
for
greatest with
York,
his feet, is he? He's not the greatest with his
Terrible.
feet, Pope.
Bad.
terrible. But when I saw him for York, I was like, that guy's going to make it in the Premier League. And then 4 years later, he was there with Burnley. So he's. I would hopefully, this is the deal I would do: Pope to Burnley, Trafford to Newcastle. That's what I would do, because Burnley aren't going to let go of Trafford without having a replacement of them. So, and Pope's not going to want to be number two.
And they know Pope, and Pope gets to stay in the Premier League.
Exactly.
Well, we shit on Dubravka, really, haven't we? Offered him a contract and put him back on the bench.
Well, yeah,
he was doing really well as well.
He was, yeah,
he was.
I don't any younger, Liam.
Yeah. I'm a Dubravka over Pope. Me.
But does Dubravka save the shot in the cup final that Pope saved?
I don't know. I don't know. I'll never know.
That's the thing. Pope's not great with his feet, but he is a cracking shot stopper.
He is. And that's what goalkeeper's main job is to do. But we want to develop as a team and be the next Man City sort of thing and play out from the back. You need someone who's comfortable with the feet.
Playing from the back, no.
How many times, right, in the last 3 or 4 games is Pope kicked it out?
Yeah. Oh, loads of times. I hate it. Does my head in.
I would say 80% of it.
He throws it because he doesn't back himself.
Yeah, I agree. He was starting to look all right with his feet, and then he got injured, didn't he? He put his shoulder out, and then his confidence just went right back again, unfortunately. So, but yeah, to answer your question, Rich, we definitely need a new goalkeeper, but we need one that is just as good as Pope at saving, but we need someone who's got the ability with the feet, like a Man City goalkeeper, a Liverpool goalkeeper, who were fantastic. So yeah, they cost a lot of money.
Told you we're getting Dan's favourite goalkeeper.
Go on.
Martinez.
But he's brilliant at playing out from the back. He is brilliant at playing out from the back. He was fantastic against us, and it's painful.
He's just a prick.
Yes, he is.
But getting on to Martinez quickly before we go.
Go on.
I think they say he's the best goalkeeper in the world. Look at the number of mistakes he makes.
Oh, yeah.
He makes loads of mistakes. And he's a knob.
Goalkeeper in the
And
world.
he's a knob. Yep. Yep.
Who said he's the best goalkeeper in the world?
Well,
He's
he got
there.
the Golden Glove, didn't he? He's up
Golden
there.
Glove.
Everyone says he's one of the best goalkeepers around.
He's going to have been a little bit of a shit house, mate. That's about it.
Yep. 100%.
We definitely don't want to go anywhere near him.
Who is the best goalkeeper?
Ariel Muric is the best goalkeeper in the world. I think Newcastle United should sign him for 25.
You're trying, Callie. You're trying. It ain't going to happen, mate. Who is the best goalkeeper in the world? It's a very good question. Probably Edison, maybe.
Do you think? I don't know. He is good.
I think a goalkeeper depends on their defence as well. So it can be a very tainted picture. You can have an average keeper who's got a great defence, so they look better because they're conceding less and stuff like that. But I would probably say it's Alisson.
There's only one answer, Kelly. It's Alex Palmer.
Alex Palmer. We're hearing all these names, and they're super Alex Palmer, mate. Like, watch his save against Aston Villa at Villa Park.
I'd say Donnarumma at PSG's got to be up there. He's a good keeper.
Yeah.
Please, none of you have said Pickford.
Yeah, I don't know.
Definitely not.
Not a T-Rex. Not a T-Rex fan.
Pickford is a great goalkeeper. As much as we hate him,
when he plays for England only.
When he plays for England,
I'd say Baz. We need to have words here, Baz. Whoa.
Hey, you've got to give credit where credit's due. He's not at Sunderland. He's a great goalkeeper for Everton. He's a fantastic goalkeeper for England. I know. It's horrible to say it. It's horrible to say it, but he is.
Does he always get a nice reception when he comes back to St James's?
Nope.
Oh, we have people dressed up as dinosaurs for him and everything.
He gives it though, doesn't he?
He does. He gives it back though, and massively. Yep. And he learned, because obviously when he first came back for Everton, he was giving it loads, and then he fucked up, didn't he? And I think we beat Everton quite badly, and ever since then he got dropped for the next time he came. literally straight to the bench. Everton manager went, "You're not playing in this game. You know, you can't hold your emotions and all this sort of stuff." And then he came back 2 years later after that and had a stormer, and he kind of calmed down a little bit. He still give it a bit, but he also, his concentration was a lot better, which was a bit of a shame because we thought we had him under the thumb sort of thing. We were like on him all the time. Dinosaurs behind the goal, waving at him and everything. It was great. Shit, how was he? Why not? Little tiny Rex arms. We love it. We'll love it. Right. That's the end of the show. We've gone on a little bit longer than we were expected to, but it's been great chatting to you guys, and it was very easy and comfortable to do. And thank you so much for coming on and being good sports, because it's not easy after a defeat. We know what we're like after a defeat, and sometimes we're like unconsolable.
I would love next season to check in with these two lads and see how Ipswich is doing.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, why not? If you want to come down to Portman Road, or if we can get some away tickets when we play the Scum, your Scum up there, maybe give Richard and I a shout. I'm sure we'll sort something out for you guys.
But to do that, we'll record the away and give them some shit.
That is a cracking idea. The problem is, I don't think we make it out. We won't make it out of Sunderland.
The Wheat Chief, do you know the Wheat Chief up in Sunderland with Wee Philly? Wee Philly, I like going in there as a visitor. You can come in there with us when we play Sunderland. Undercover.
Not a bad idea. That's a great idea.
Let's be neutrals. Let's all go to Middlesbrough.
Nobody really cares about the Smoggies, do they? Well, exactly. I'd even wear an Ipswich town top for that day and be in the away end.
I'd bring a couple of spare tops.
Epic. Yeah, that would be epic. That's a great idea. We'll have to set that up. Right. Everyone's loving it. Thank you very much for joining us. John, JC, Dan, Liam, it's great to see you again, mate. And Rich and Callie, thank you so much. And keep in touch, guys. We'll have to sort a few things out, definitely. I love this. I love the sound of all that. And thank you so much again. We're going to have a little break. We'll be back on Friday night. I'm on night shifts the next couple of nights, and there's a few things happening. So Friday will be the next stream when we discuss who we're playing again, Brighton.
Yes.
Yeah, Brighton away. Oh, God.
Brighton away on Sunday.
I hate playing Brighton away. I won't be going, thank God. I'll be, but it's a long, long way. What happened to the draw? Damn it, I've got to see. So this is why you got to keep reminding me, Leslie. I said through the show, remind me. And then she waits when I'm saying bye.
All
Jesus.
Right. Let's do it quick.
Let's do the draw. Right. Share screen, wheel. It's been here for ages. I just don't know why I've not bothered to do it. But here we go. Oh, I'm professional. So there's
technology at its best. That is. Look at that.
It is. So 2 $40 gift cards to Diacro, who are absolutely amazing. I'll quickly pop. This. We'll do the draw first. Here we go.
Everyone needs a Macam Slayer t-shirt. Go get
yes, one. They do. Yes, they do. We need. I need to buy one for when we go to the game when we're in the Ipswich end.
I'll tell you what I love on their website is the little candle they've got. Macam
Yes, the Macam tiers. There's the Arsenal tiers as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
Right. Good luck, everyone. Here's the first winner. Completely forgot about that. Thank you, Leslie, for mentioning it right at the very end as I was about to go. Blade! Oh, is it Eddie? Oh, it's Eddie. Oh, Blade. Sorry, Blade, you were close, mate. But Edward has won the first one. Congratulations. I'm just writing the names down. Right. Yep. And the next one is, I don't remove. You always stay in because it's always fair. Here's the next one. This is a members prize draw. Remember, it's just 99p and you get put into a draw. And it's Les. I haven't seen Les for a while. I hope he's all right. I know he's gone through some difficult times. I know how to contact both of them. Congratulations to our winners. And we'll hopefully have a prize draw next month while I remember to do it, because I am terrible at remembering to do it.
Liam, JC, John, that's on us to remind him.
Yeah.
Just remind me.
We'll just at the very beginning of every show from now on, we'll just say drawing and
I'll just keep interrupting him when he's midway through talking about some important draw.
Was it a peak? Was it a pen? Was it a pen? Drawing, Barry.
Terrible. There they are, Diacro, 20% off with Bars 20. They do loads of other stuff as well, not just Newcastle stuff. And don't forget about Jan's art as well. They're absolutely fantastic. They did the artwork for our banner on our channel. Some of the stuff
I love the Dan Burn one.
Dan Burn's is class. They do personal stuff as well. So contact him if you want anything done. He'll give you a price. He's a top guy as well, retired police officer, knows what he's doing with an Apple Pen. So consider contacting him as well. So well done to have. Sorry, Blade. I honestly thought it was going to stop on you, to be fair.
It looked like it.
It did, didn't it? But congratulations to all the winners. See you all on Friday night. Thank you again, everyone. Good night.
Lovely to see you all. Take care.